Someone asked me about all of the things we're offering. I even saw someone post a fake copy of the things that we're offering. Some of the things we're offering that didn't come from us. About free electricity, free water, free internet, free education, free healthcare. It's stuff that they're promising. This can't be done. I even heard a gentleman say, that can't be done. How are you going to get free electricity? Did you do the math? And this is where the problem comes in. Because our people are led by a bunch of visionless people who they think are educated and so smart. But these people are only interested in what would make money for them. Our governments only do what they will benefit from individually as persons. They're not going to do a project unless them and their people are going to benefit from that. They're cronies. And the people who pay for their elections. That is why we are backwards. And they ignore everything else. If they cannot make money from it, they're not going to do it. That is what is holding this country back. It's called corruption. That is the problem. That is what we need to chase out of town. That is what we need to vote out of town. You see them presenting these bunch of candidates and saying, oh, look at this one has this degree. Oh, look at that candidate worked at this factory or this place or this bank or this, that, and this. That person is a puppet. And that person only is going to do what they're told. And they're going to keep their mouth shut so they can continue to make money off of that gravy train. That is what they're going to do. And so that is where the problem is. Let's take a few seconds to do the math. Okay? Here is the math. And you can do this. I can do this in my head. But you can get your calculator. Get your trusty calculator. Okay, we're going to have a Sesame Street moment for those intellectuals who can't understand. Or those people who think they're intellectuals who cannot understand. We're going to have a Sesame Street moment. Okay? Here we go. Electricity. Everything I said is confirmed. Well, you can Google quickly. All of the numbers from these companies is right online, and you can see what their expenses are. They gave their expenses in their reports. Okay. BEC said that it cost them $480 million to provide electricity to the Bahamian public. That's their cost. Okay. Now, the numbers I'm going to put this against is the numbers that you can confirm. I'm not going to give any numbers or say this we can make from SAN or anything. I'm going to leave that out. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the Prime Minister. You know how much you all trust this Prime Minister, right? But we're going to take his numbers, all right? His own numbers. Here we're going to go. The Prime Minister on January 12th came out and said, that's right after our Armed Belly protest, he came out and said, okay, we're going to give you your Sovereign Wealth Fund, but we're going to take $2 billion from it, and we're going to do airports and infrastructure. So they're deciding what to do with it. There's a lot of things in this country that can be done, but they spend money on the wrong things. They have the wrong focus. So remember when the Prime Minister said that? That was his words, not mine. $2 billion they're going to take from the natural resources and the Sovereign Wealth Fund, and they're going to spend it on airports and some infrastructure, roads, etc. So we know, if we don't know anything else, we know that we can get $2 billion from this. If we don't even put our real numbers, let's just take the $2 billion the Prime Minister confessed to. Is that fair? All right? Is that fair, everyone who's watching this? Tell me, is that fair? Is it fair? Yes. Yes or no? Yes or no? So the Prime Minister, for those who are skeptics, the Prime Minister said, okay, we're going to take $2 billion from what we make from the Sovereign Wealth Fund, and we're going to okay, so let's take the $2 billion. Here we go. Simple math. Are you ready? This is Sesame Street math. Okay? Everyone is saying it's fair. Good. Here we go. BC said their cost is $480 million. That's their cost. So that means if they could get $480 million from somewhere else, they do not need to charge you $1 because they're making they're already covered, right? Good. So, is $480 million covered in that $2 billion? Yes. Okay? So that's $480 million. In fact, let me grab out a little trusty calculator for you. And let's put this down. Because some people are visual. Alright, I'm sorry. Here we go. Some people are visual. So this is what we're going to do. $480 million. Sesame Street moment here. 480 million. Here we go. And so that's BC. Plus What is the other expense? So that means electricity is covered, right? It's free. Now remember, all of these things are going to be free for individuals and for personal use, not for business. Businesses are still going to pay for electricity. So the hotels are still going to pay for electricity. Of course, we're going to reduce the cost dramatically so we can go into manufacturing, but they're going to still pay. So it won't be the cost won't be $480 million for long, because we have vision and we're going to change that. But just at what it is today, $480 million is what we need. So based on the Prime Minister's word, that's $480 million. Now, what the next thing is, so that's on electricity. Let's go over to water. Water and sewage said that it cost them $67 million in order to provide water for the Bahamas. And so what we're going to do is we're going to estimate $70 million. Okay, so we're going to add that $480 million plus $70 million. So this is for any friends or family that you may have that's saying that this is impossible. Here we go. So that's plus $70 million. All right. So there we go. So we got now, is that covered in the $2 billion? All right, it's covered. Okay. So now here we are. We got free electricity and free water. Isn't that simple? Okay. So let's continue. We offered free internet based on the expenses of Cable Bahamas and BTC. We can subsidize your internet in your home. Now, personal, not for businesses, in your home and on your cell phone, data. So you will always be connected for free, unlimited, okay, for $100 million based on their expenses. All right. So here we go. So we're going to add $100 million to this. Remember, we're working with $2 billion. That's our budget, right? Because that's what the Prime Minister confessed to. This isn't any numbers from Lincoln. This is numbers from your Prime Minister, okay, who we are about to fire. Here we go. So I'm going to add 100 million. Okay. Plus 100 million. So we added that. So that's plus 100 million. Here we go. So that's water, electricity, and internet covered. Are we getting this? Okay. Y'all please tag some trolls so they could come here and ask their questions one time. We got to get this message out even to the trolls. All right, because they're going to get the free electricity, free water, and free internet also. This is for them. And in fact, the first check we want to give out to a troll, one of those trolls who was saying that it's impossible, that's what we need to line up and do one big ceremonial check and give it to the first check for $100,000. That's what we want to give it to. All right, but here we go. And so now we got three things covered. All right, that's covered in the $2 billion. Yes, it is. We're only at $650 million so far. So we're covered. Now let's continue. Education. Let's cover education. Free education. That's something we promised. Because they're just telling you this is impossible, but they won't give any figures themselves. They're just telling you this can't be done, but they're not doing the math. Do you understand? Okay, so here. Okay, so what are we doing next? Free education. Let's just say we take a whole $50 million and put it towards University of Bahamas. It doesn't cost anything near that. Harvard built a whole school, Yale, in Dubai, and it cost them about $900,000. So let's say we take a whole budget and give $50 million to the University of Bahamas, which it won't cost that. Let's say we do that. We still covered. Here we go. Plus $50 million. We're still only at $700,000. All right. So now we have electricity free, water free, internet data for your phone unlimited, and for your home unlimited free. And now you have education for your children free. On minister's numbers. So let's take the next one. Healthcare. You can do a quick research. You will see it. This government said it would cost about $750 million to give free healthcare. CFAL that did their research and said they believe it will cost $700 million to give free healthcare to everyone in the Bahamas. $700 million, and that includes if you have cancer, if you have need heart surgery or anything. No more costs for surgeries. Nothing. Everything is free. All right. And so free health care. All right, 700 million. So I'm going to add 700 million to the number I already have. So 700 plus 700 million plus 700 million. All right. So I added the 700 million. I'm putting that there so you can see the numbers. And now I'm going to press equal. That equals $1.4 billion. $1.4 billion. We still got change from the $2 billion. We still have change left over from the $2 billion that Minnis says that they're going to take. Instead of giving us this stuff, Minnis is saying he could take it and build some airport and build some road. Y'all want airport or y'all want free electricity? Y'all just tell me, because I might need to step aside and let Minnis them do their thing. Y'all want airport or y'all want free electricity, free water, free internet, free healthcare, free education for your children? Y'all want airport and road? Or y'all want what I am saying? Please tell me. Our governments have money, but they waste money on nonsense because they benefit from it. It is a way to funnel money to their cronies. These guys are saying we're broke, but they spent $17 million on drones? We ain't had drones for all these years. Now all of a sudden that's a need? $17 million on drones. I did the budget for the F&M to get the drones. I did the search and plan. It was a few $100,000. Under $400,000, it was $307,000. The exact amount that New York spent on their drones, the New York Police Department. When I saw that $17 million number, ladies and gentlemen, these corrupt people need to go. And there are some corrupt people sitting in the waiting, not saying anything about anything. You heard Brave Davis say anything about that comment Minnis made that the foreigners who come here and have children are entitled to land? Did you hear him say anything about that? You hear him saying anything about anything? No. They're just waiting their turn. They're just waiting their turn. They have no vision. They don't care. They're just waiting to get in there to see how they could do their drone deals and get straight. All right? I see someone broke it down for me. Thank you so much. Someone broke it down. So what does those numbers I just gave to you say? What does that say? That actually says that we could do that right now. All that stuff that we are offering, you can get that right now without getting money from our sovereign wealth fund or natural resources. We just need them to spend the money right and spend the money on the proper things. Ladies and gentlemen, we need a new Bahamas. You have to spread this message. These people have no vision for this country. We are going to release a real economic plan. A real economic plan that's going to show you how we could get from where we are now to recovering our country. These guys are sitting down waiting for the cruise ships to come back. They have no vision. They're sitting down waiting for the hotels to reopen. They have no vision. They have no vision. And I wanted you to see this for yourself. And you have to preach this to your friends and family. So now there's some other numbers. They talk about the 100,000. They say that the 100,000 isn't doable. It isn't workable. It cannot happen. And someone said that to me the other day. He said, man, how does that work? How do you give 400,000 people $100,000? That's $40 billion. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. While we will have $40 billion from our natural resources, it doesn't take all of that. It doesn't cost that much to get this done. It's not going to 400,000 persons. That's the first thing. So before I say that, I want you to make note of this. Cuba, and we're not communists at all, so I need to address that too. We're not communists. We don't support communism. We don't support socialism. We're not talking about a communist agenda. There's someone who said that to me too. We're not talking the communist agenda. There will still be businesses. Bahamians will own businesses. A communist is when the government takes control and ownership of everything. No, we're talking about benefiting from our natural resources, which we own. You say we own it. It's our natural resources. You say from the high water mark down, that's the Bahamian people own that. You say that the land, everything underground, the Bahamian people own that. The resources are owned by us, right? So how's that communism? It's ours. Okay, that's your rules. That's what's in place. And so there will still be businesses operating. You have to open your business. You ain't getting nothing free. They say, oh, y'all giving people everything free. That's not everything. You still got to go to Super Value and buy your groceries. You still got to pay your rent. You're not getting everything free. No, but you're going to get benefits like other countries do, because you should benefit from your natural resources. But there will still be businesses operating. You will still be able to buy land and do everything you're doing now. We're just saying that the natural resources, you should get a royalty from that. That's not communism at all. Norway is not communist, and they're doing all of these stuff, except they don't give a check. Dubai is not communist at all. All right, they give checks and all of these other resources. Kuwait is not communist. Qatar, they're not communist. What are you talking about? Alaska is not communist. They give checks every year to the residents of Alaska. And so I just want you to understand that. But just so you understand, for these people who say it's impossible, a country like Cuba, they give free electricity. They give all these stuff that I'm saying free, except internet. You get free healthcare, free education for 10 million people. Free education up to PhD. 10 million people. We can't do that for a couple 100,000. Seriously? Where we fall short is vision, y'all. And this is why we need to remove the older generation, and we need a new generation with vision to take over this country. Please spread the news. And so for persons who ask about the 100,000, that's what I'm going to do right now, okay? Here we go. 100,000. $100,000. Every single Bahamian will not get this. Every Bahamian adult will get this as passport carrying Bahamian adult. And so and that is from the age of 22 and up. And so you don't start getting your checks until you're 22 and up. All right? Think about the majority of the electorate. The majority of the electorate is from 18 to 40. That's 70%. So that's a big chunk. So from 18 to 21 is a huge chunk of our population. Well, from 0 to 21 is a huge chunk of our population, and it very well could be the majority. I think it is the majority. It is the majority of our population. From 18 to 21, as an adult, you're not getting that check. Only from 22 and up. So I'm saying this slowly, and you can crop this, you can screen record this, and share this with your family. Okay? And so now we're only talking about 140 to 150 if you want to take it up a person. So maybe 130,000 persons that you're talking about. All right? So let's do a round number. Let's say it's 150,000 people that you're talking about. All right? Because you just excluded a big chunk of your population. 150,000 persons to get $100,000. Let's do that math. See, we want to show it. I don't want you to hear the math from me. 150,000 persons. It's 150,000 persons times $100,000 a person. That is $15 billion. And that's not doable. Someone says, "Oh, but our entire country's budget is $2 billion." That's in a country where we're not utilizing our natural resources. Didn't you hear the Attorney General say that all of this mining has been going on and these people have been benefiting, making billions and billions, and we've been getting nothing? That's why. Because we have people, someone says exclude the trolls. Boy, yeah, I got to put our team of lawyers on that and to see how if we found out that you're a troll. No, we're doing this for everyone. The new Bahamas is going to be inclusive of everyone. And everyone includes Brent Simonet. Brent Simonet getting the check. Y'all can believe that. Brent Simonet is going to get his $100,000 check. The All the West Coast is going to get their $100,000 check. Frankie Wilson getting his too. The same way that every single other person is getting it. We're fighting for every Bahamian, black and white, rich and poor. But we're fighting for all of us to be treated fairly this time. Alright? Yeah, for years they rob us, but you know how it goes. So that's $15 billion as you just saw, right? $15 billion as you just saw. Oh, just so you understand, when we come to power, we are going to check the books. And any government official that has done wrong, they are going to jail. And I'm looking you directly in your eyes in this camera and letting you know that we are going to enforce the laws on any corrupt politicians that have been raping and robbing this country. I'll advise them to stop. I'll advise them to stop fighting against the people. You can't stop this movement. What this is, you cannot stop. You are going to jail. I'm telling you. We are going to have commissions of inquiries. We're going to have investigations. Everything that we need to do. If we have to bring in Scotland Yard, if we have to bring in the Royal Mounted Police, if we have to bring in the FBI to assist us in these investigations, there's going to be full audits of every single agency. So, oh, you think because a minister resigned that we're going to just let that go? Or because minister says that he's not investigating him, that is going to go? No. We're months away from the new Bahamas. And in the new Bahamas, corruption is going to be a capital offense. Let me make that clear. A capital offense. And so there's going to be forensic audits of everything. We can walk and chew gum. We can do two things at a time. While we are functioning and ushering in the new Bahamas, there's going to be financial audits. Every single email, letter, every conversation, every transaction that these governments have had, we are going to release to the Bahamian public. We are going to release. If we have to get the help of journalists from around the world to comb through all of these documents, we're going to release it to you and let you know exactly what has been going on. And then we're going to initiate our Freedom of Information Act so that you can keep the government in check. There's some things that's groundbreaking that you're going to see how we're going to keep the government in check. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a new Bahamas and something different. So I just want to do this quickly for you because I said $15 billion is what it would take to get this done in terms of the $100,000 check. That's the only part I'm talking about now. And how we're going to get that. So let's just play with what we know. Because I won't say, because if I say, okay, we're going to get this from sand and this from limestone and this from here and this from there, they're going to say, oh, don't listen to Lincoln's numbers. So I'm going to give you their numbers. All right? Stuff that's already out there. And then you can use your common sense. All right? Here we go. Minister said that from what we make from the Natural Resources and Sovereign Wealth Fund, he's going to take $2 billion from it. That means that if you could take $2 billion from it to do these stuff, that means there's much more in there. So I'm not going to say a big number. I'm going to say, let's say it's only $5 billion in there, because you're not going to take the whole $2 billion if that's all in there to just do that. Let's say it's $5 billion in there. That's $5 billion. All right. How much we need? 10 more. All right. So now let's take this statement that the Attorney General made, that companies, just the cosmetic industry alone, were making billions and billions from our flora and fauna that we didn't know about as a people. Thank God for Bahamian evolution. Billions and billions. Let's say that billions and billions is 5 billion. Let's just say billions and billions. Let's just say it's 5 billion. Now we got 10 billion. We only need 5 more to get our $100,000 checks, right? You see, they're telling you this is impossible, but this is very doable. They just don't have vision. And they don't want you to be self-sufficient. And so now we need 5 billion more, right? Okay. In the House of Assembly, they said that Bahama Rock takes $5 billion worth of our limestone and we get nothing for it. Remember? We get nothing for this flora and fauna thing that the Attorney General talked about. We get nothing for Bahama Rock. That's one company with one natural resource. Imagine how much other stuff going on out there that you all don't know about, like how you didn't know about the flora and fauna. Huh? So now you take that 5 billion that they were talking about with Bahama Rock, all right? Something that the world is desperate for, crushed rock, etc. You just saw it in this Daily Mail article. I ain't start talking about sand and aragonite and oil and all this other stuff yet, right? I ain't talking about salt and all that yet, right? I'm talking about the numbers we get from them. So now, they take that 5 billion, now we got 15 billion. That alone. Before we go into discussing the money we're going to make from carbon credits, from the mangroves, etc. Now you hear the PLP talking about it. You heard Chester Cooper talk about it yesterday. Because we are leading them. We are leading the PLP and the FNM. They are following everything that we're doing. Watch what's happening. Watch very carefully. So if we are leading them and they're getting the ideas from us, why do you want to put them there? Why shouldn't you just go to the new Bahamas? Go with the new Bahamas. And so they are going to tell you that this thing is impossible and is not doable. It is very doable. There are countries with millions and millions of people. Oil is worth about $40 a barrel. Sand is much more needed than oil. Much more needed. It is more used. You've seen it with your own eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't listen to me, you are going to regret it. This is our only chance at this. And so we are about to release our candidates to you. A group of people that is working hard, putting together a vision for this country, to take this country into the new Bahamas. A group of people who are going to stand up for what is right. A group of people who will not sell out. A group of people who are going to deliver this new Bahamas to you. That is what we're about to deliver, ladies and gentlemen. And so if you have any family or friends, you just clip that what I just did with the numbers, or you just memorize those numbers and you tell them $100,000 for every Bahamian adult is very doable. You're responsible for your children. Yes, we have a program for the children too, but I just wanted to break it down to show you how easy this is. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen. If you want more airport and road, vote for them. It isn't the money, you know. The country makes money every year, and the country can make more money. They're looking for new resources. They're looking for new forms of income. And the only thing that they can think about is taxes. We are showing you that we can do this differently like other countries are doing, and we can make a change. Lincoln is here to bring that change. The rest of the coalition of independent candidates are here to bring that change. Change is not coming. Change is here. You have to spread the message to your friends and families. Learn this stuff. Get this in your head. When they tell you this is not possible, you tell them the numbers. 150,000 Bahamian adults times 100,000, that's 15 billion. How can we not make 15 billion? And I haven't started giving you numbers for sand and aragonite yet. But I will give you the numbers. It's very simple. You saw the article from the Daily Mail, and that article says that the world is running out of sand. Not America, not England, not China, the entire world. And it needs sand for everything. This technological push, all of these new software, and you can Google that too, that the world is running out of microchips. There's a microchip shortage in the world. Microchip, just Google that, microchip when you finish. Shortage 2021. All right, and they're saying that this won't go away, and the auto industry is terrified. And if you do that, you're gonna see, and this is affecting the PS5 and all of these other stuff that they're trying to make out there. Is affecting everything, y'all. And guess who they need to make these microchips? They need the sand that we have. See, I want you to see it, because see, everything I say, I want you to understand it. I don't just say anything that I cannot prove. The great microchip shortage of 2021. Why car makers and computer makers are scrambling. They need sand to make the microchips that goes in all of these things. Close. The Biden administration are already dealing with a variety of crises. Is having to deal with yet another, a chip shortage that has slowed the production of everything from cars to laptops. Fearful of the impact on jobs and an already slowing economy, the White House on February 11 announced plans to help alleviate the problem, but the effort is unlikely to lift the chip production anytime soon. Go Google. So while these dinosaurs are talking about airports and roads, there's a real world out there. There's a new world out there. We need change. Ladies and gentlemen, change is here. And so you have a choice. You can go with those fellas and, you know, what do they call it? You can go and be finished with menace, or you can go to the grave with brave. And that's the rhyme they say, right? All right. I'm not going to the grave with brave. I'm sorry. I am not going to the grave with brave. And you need to make sure that you do not go to the grave with brave. We are going to the next Bahamas. We are going to the next Bahamas. I am not going to the grave with brave. Brave is 70 years old, and he has no vision for this country. I do not say that to offend him. I am being real. Do not go to the grave with brave. I am calling again for a debate with menace and with brave. And we can bring Orinthia Komalafe. I'm sure that me and her together will eat them alive. They have no